Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix and welcome to the video review of the Jungle Mission 3-pack from Target. I picked this set up over at my local Target and it's the only time I have ever seen it available. I've been looking for it for a while, specifically because I really wanted to get a hold of Airazor. And I'm also really glad I picked up this set because I find that the Mirage figure is quite fun too. But before we talk about the good stuff, let's talk about the bad stuff, and that is this Bumblebee figure. This Bumblebee figure is nowhere near as good as the other Bumblebee figure that comes with the other 3-pack, the one that comes with, Cheetor and Wheeljack. I don't know what Hasbro was thinking with this Bumblebee figure, but this is one of the worst Bumblebee figures I've gotten a hold of in a while. The weapons that the figure comes with are those two sais that form the front bumper in vehicle mode, and the figure as a whole just does not feel good. It doesn't feel good in the hands, it doesn't look particularly good, and the paint matching is absolutely atrocious. Specifically the paint matching of the pieces that are not cast in yellow plastic, like the clear doors. Yes, the doors are completely clear. The clear the clear top of the vehicle mode, which is hidden back there. And then the other bits that are painted, like on its chest. Yeah, the yellow color matching. It's really bad. Posability is okay. Head is on a ball joint, but it's supposed to peg into place, but it never does on my figure. Shoulders are on hinges for in and out, and every time I move the shoulder, it unpegs the torso. Ball joint in the shoulder, swivel just above the elbow, bend at the elbow is 90 degrees. Legs can kick forward and can kick back. Can kick forward a lot farther. Can't kick back that far because of all the kibble. Legs can kick out. There is a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee is very tight and is slightly ratcheted. Goes over 90 degrees. Feet are on, well, I'm not sure what these are. Hinges. And then ankle rockers. So you can pull off some decent poses. Now, this is just for me. This figure's not a whole fun to look at. I just don't like looking at this thing. Something I do find funny is just the size difference in robot mode between the Jungle Mission Bumblebee and the Bumblebee from the other 3-pack. I mean, these figures are essentially completely different, even though they're for the same character. But man, Bumblebee wasn't even in the movie that much. In fact, most of it he spent, well, incapacitated, we'll say. Did he really need all of these figures? Couldn't you have fit, I don't know, maybe Rhinox into this Jungle Mission set instead of fricking Bumblebee, who was, as I said, incapacitated when they got to the jungle? All right, enough of that, my complaining. Let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. It's not a pleasant transformation. We'll start with the legs, come down to the feet, and then fold the feet up into the back of the shins like that. Come to the backpack and unfold the tires, and then flip the tires forward a little bit like that. And then grab this entire backpack and fold it out, and it will snap into place. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell is this hole? Well, my friends, that hole is from this piece that snapped off the first time I tried to transform it. In the box, it was slightly transformed correctly. This piece that is just soft plastic was not attached. So I went to pull it out and I went to flip it down and snap it into place. And as soon as I did that, this piece, which I might add, is painted clear plastic, snapped clean off. So I accidentally gave Bumblebee a sunroof, or half of one anyway. Let's keep going with the transformation. Unpeg the chest and flip it up over the robot head, and then bring the robot arms, put them straight down, bring them down, and then turn them in, and they will fold up underneath the chassis. Then we can take the hood and flip that over, and that will snap into place. And then we can fold the tires down and fold the actual wheel wells down as well, like that. Now, the tires, I'm not going to fold them all the way down because the inside of the tires, there's a little peg hole right there. There's a little peg coming off the back of the shoulders. Those will peg in there and hold everything into place. Next, take the hips and turn them around 180 degrees, bring the back down, and then there are these little slots that are on the bottom of the shins, and they will slot into these pegs that are on the back of the trunk of the vehicle mode. Getting that lined up and everything snapped into place isn't hard, but it's not fun either. And bring this all down into place and pray to the Lord above that you are not breaking it further, because good grief. And by the Lord above, of course, I mean Primus. All right, there we go. Now we can get the arms straight, and then the forearms will peg into these little pegs that are coming off the butt. And just push everything up into place. Bring these down. Bring those down. Snap these into place, and swearing profusely because things don't like lining up. And here we go. I'll fix it in post, really. Now that we got it transformed, we take the sides, or little daggers, and just push them together, and then this whole section will peg into these little pegs that are coming off the front of the bumper, and there we go. The paint matching on this thing is atrocious, and it's very visible here in vehicle mode. Essentially, the entire center of the car doesn't match the rest of the plastic, which just sucks. And that's because all of these, the doors and the roof and this whole middle section, it's all clear plastic, painted yellow. It doesn't work at all. And then you've got this massive amount of robot kibble hanging out underneath. I mean, he's got giant frickin' lugs sticking out of the rear of the car. This is not a successful vehicle mode, where the other Bumblebee, while smaller, is. They're essentially the same. This Bumblebee works a lot better. No, it's not perfect. I mean, you still have the arms sticking out under there, but this one in the other 3-pack is a much better figure than this piece of drivel. All right, enough of the bad stuff. Let's move on to some good figures. Next on the docket for me is Mirage in this set, and this Mirage isn't perfect, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's got good coloring, it works well, and overall, it's a solid toy. Head sculpt is a little funky, and I don't really remember this being his battle mask in the movie, but it works. It kind of looks like a Cybertronian walrus, but it does work. And the gun that he comes with is nifty. It can be held in both arms. I prefer having it held in the left arm. That's just a personal preference. The only thing I have to say that really negative about this figure is the amount of kibble on the back. That's a lot of backpack junk. It is. But, I mean, the Studio Series figure isn't much better, so I don't really have much room to complain. Oh, and as you just saw, the legs have a tendency to come disconnected from themselves pretty easily, but it's not a deal breaker by any stretch. Yeah, overall, solid Mirage, and it's clear that this toy was designed before the figure's the design was finalized, because it's close. It's close to what we have on screen, but not really. I do appreciate that there is a plug in the keister that you can plug the gun into for weapon storage. Posability-wise, head is on a ball joint, up and down movement, very limited, but it does do side to side, no problem. Shoulders are ball jointed as well, plus a hinge for the transformation. There is a swivel at the upper bicep, though it is slightly ratcheted, and then bend at the elbow is 90 degrees. No fist articulation other than the hinge for the transformation, which, ow, that looks like it hurts. Torso swivel is present. The legs can kick forward and back. Forward 90 degrees, back almost 90 degrees, out not that far because it hits this piece. And then the knees bend and are ratcheted. No foot articulation because of the transformation. The feet pretty much completely, the lower legs completely unfold, which is kind of cool, which we'll get into in a second. Again, I think it works well. I do think it's got a bit too much kibble, and considering it's part of the buzzworthy Bumblebee line, it's fine. All right, transformation time. Let's get into it. To start with the transformation, come to the back and flip out these panels, and then that will allow you to unfold pretty much the roof and the hood of the car. We won't do that quite yet because we're going to come down to the arms and put these wheel sections straight up, come down to the fists and rotate them in, and then turn the forearms around like that, and then we'll be able to flip the shoulder pieces around and peg them in. So turn the forearms 90 degrees and then flip those shoulder pieces around to form the front vehicle wheel wells. Point the arm up, out, and then fold it up like that. So it will sit at the top of the shoulder. There we go. I was missing a connection. So turn it up and they will essentially just, his arms will stick straight up like that. And then we can then open that section up, and then that whole section will come down onto the front. But first, we got to come down to the legs. So unpeg the rear heels, then reach inside and unpeg the heels, and then bring them down. Grab the outside part of the leg and flip it around like that, and do that on the other side. With the legs slightly unfolded, grab the hips and turn them around 180 degrees. And then take the legs, the front part of the legs, fold that up, and then fold down the toes like this. So we could fold down the toe and fold that whole section up. And then the whole rear will snap in together. Fold those in, snap those in. And then essentially what we need to do is just bring everything together. So bring these. Oh, shoot, I transformed the arms wrong. Whoop-de-doody. So the arms, I put them up. They need to actually tuck in into the chest like that. Whoops-a-doodle. To get the roof of the vehicle down, take these tabs and push them out, and that will open it up so that we can then drop everything into place, snap everything in, get everything combined up, and then we can fold these up again. And I know that there is... Come on. There we go. All right. Now for weapon storage, again... Little pegs on the back of the vehicle mode. The weapon is supposed to peg in there. I really wish it could peg in underneath somewhere. There's no room there. I really like this vehicle mode. Yes, it is a poor man's knockoff of a Porsche 911 or Porsche 911. I'm okay with that. I think it works fine. It looks good. Yeah, there's a lot of clear plastic up here on the roof because the paint matching is something that's kind of bad again, but it's less bad than on Bumblebee. It's still not great, but overall, I think as a little knockoff Porsche 911, I think it works. Now, in terms of size, compared to with the Bumblebee that he comes with, that Bumblebee is just a lot bigger for some reason. All right, let's move on to Airazor. This figure is the reason to own this set. The coloring is really good and it works for the movie, and that head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. I love the way this thing looks. Thanks to Matt Bozen for actually referring this or giving me a link to this over on Amazon, but at the cost of $42 for one figure, I kind of wanted the whole set. I think that this is absolutely the Airazor figure that we should have gotten. It's absolutely phenomenal looking. It's so nice, and it feels good in the hand. Couple of minor problems, and that's specifically with the tightness in some of the joints in the arms. These shoulder pads, very, not super loose, but loose enough that they do pop off pretty easily. And then the pins that are at the elbow and at the wrist are not tight enough. And that does negatively impact the vehicle mode, the beast mode. But the figure comes with knives that are nice and big, and the figure overall is just solid. Plus, in robot mode, she has wings that she could deploy, which are so much cooler looking than the the Kingdom version of Airazor. And it looks a lot better than the Studio Series version of the same character. And look, gold maximal symbol right on her chest. I like it. And before you ask, I do love the fact that the blades can be stored in these little wings. So they could just store on her backpack, which I appreciate so much. And I think I have them backwards. I think they're supposed to go like this. And what's also really nice is there's a nice little peg hole right here under the tail feathers that are on her back. So she can go on a flight stand, which I appreciate. Posability-wise, head is on a ball joint. There are hinges in the shoulder or inside the chest for, well, the transformation. Ball joint in the shoulder, swivel, hinge, a hinge. Yeah, these aren't tight enough. They just aren't. No torso articulation due to the transformation, but legs can kick forward and back, can kick forward at over 90 degrees, are kind of limited by the back, but if you unpeg the tail feathers, which are connected and it's kind of holding the whole robot mode together, they can kick back a little bit farther, though not much. They can kick out over 90 degrees. There is a thigh swivel, bend at the knee is just about 90 degrees, and then the feet can rock forward and back. No side-to-side ankle though, which is a shame. Transformation for this thing is fun. I love this transformation. Took a little bit to figure out, but it's not that bad. So first off, just fold the arms up and push the shoulders down. Take the legs and turn the legs, each leg 180 degrees, and then take the feet and push them up into the shin. Take these Prince Namor feathers and fold them in and then peg them into place and on top of what was the foot, and then come to the back and unpeg the tail feathers and then rotate the entire tail feather assembly and these wing assemblies up. Come to the chest and push the chest down a little bit, and then you can take the head and push the head into the chest. The bird head is now visible. Take the bird head and turn it around, and then fold it back and snap it into place. Take the legs and split the legs out like that. Then come down to the shoulders and bring the arms or the shoulders in all the way. Fill tail feathers down. Bring tail feathers all the way down. Like that. And then bring the hips in. And they will peg into place right back there. But we kind of got to get the head out of the way first. So get that all pegged in. Bring these rear wings in and they will snap into place like that. And then bring the robot head in and bring the bird legs down into place. Yeah, the robot head being completely visible is a bit much. So we can kind of push it back and turn it around and have it sticking out the back. We could have that, or we could just bring it in like this so it's sticking out the back like that. The directions aren't exactly clear, believe it or not, which is odd. But yeah, the bird mode we end up with works well. It's not exactly colored the way I was expecting it to be colored, but it does work. If we just the head bothers me. I don't like the fact that the robot head is so visible in this mode, but it's fine. Just let it go, Bolt. Just let it go. The one thing I can't let go is the joints on those arms just are not tight enough to hold the bird mode up all that well, which is a shame. So every time I go to pose the bird mode, it falls over. Damn it. Come on. Yeah, this is why flight stands exist. Even though the figure doesn't stay on a shelf all that well or stand on a shelf all that well, I still love this toy. I love it. I think it's so good. And it's exactly what I wanted from a real reimagining of a classic Beast Wars character, as opposed to, well, hold on, let me get this stood up, as opposed to the Kingdom version, which isn't awful. I do want to say that the Kingdom version is not awful. I just prefer this new version better. I wish Hasbro gave us more of figures like these, where they're not the most complex figures in the world, but they're interesting. I mean, this is a different take on both Airazor and Cheetor, slightly different take on Cheetor than we've gotten before, and I really like both of these. Hasbro, if you're listening, would you please give us a Rhinox, or give us a 3-pack with Airazor, Rhinox, and Cheetor drawn up in their original Beast Wars color schemes, but in this style? I would love that. At the end of the day, this set has 2 good figures and 1 piece of junk. Is it worth the $60 to $70 asking price? Airazor and Mirage, yes. This Bumblebee figure, absolutely not. So folks, let me know what you think of this set down in the comments. I realize I'm super late in recording this, but I only just found these figures a few days ago. So give me a break, man. All right, folks. Love you. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you all next time.